La 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 la. Yes, here's the Castlenovians. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, sayonara, wherever you're watching this from. I hope that this live stream finds you well. I'm gonna talk to you boys about the only thing that you actually need to get a date from Cold Approach this week, and well, it's not just this week. It could be any week you decide to go out for Cold Approach, but hopefully this week, hopefully today, because well, take action today, innit? So I wanna read a comment that one of our subscribers posted yesterday, and this comment honestly made me so happy. I get a lot of weird comments, and those are usually funny, but this comment actually touched my soul because I was like, because when I'm putting this stuff out there to the world, I don't actually know the people who are consuming it. I don't actually know the lives that I'm impacting. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you never actually know when you're making a piece of content who's going to watch it, who's going to resonate with it, who's going to implement it and use it to improve their lives. So now and again, when I get comments like these, I don't know. I think it's one of the greatest forms of currency is gratitude, like expressing gratitude for another human being. So hopefully this live stream bypasses all of the BS, shows you exactly all you need to do to actually feel worthy, receive love from the feminine, get to a stage in your life where you're actually happy with your dating life. And as we know, once you've got your dating life sorted and you're happy with the women that you're dating and the people and love that you're receiving, it improves your life holistically. Now, you can have all the money in the world, but if no one loves you, then it's a bit of a lonely road. That's just personal opinion, I suppose. I might know nothing, by the way. The more I learn, the less I know. Anyway, this comment is from Addy, TGWG. Love the username. To glory we go. Kristian, that's me. I have to give you massive credit. I've still got a long way to go. Recently, I approached a girl with complete transparency of how I was feeling, brackets nervous. I used to think it's weak, not masculine, but her reaction gave me a complete new perspective. She wanted me to give her a hug because she was going through rough times too. It wasn't a very long conversation, and surely there's loads to rectify, but after that on text, she said to me, I actually respect that so much. I didn't realize it could be scary approaching people. The conversation that I thought would not go anywhere turned out to be a date, where we were just enjoying ourselves with no front needed to hide beneath. The other approach, a girl said to me she's actually going to have therapy. This has shaken all I knew, that I thought I need to hook her, tease her, flirt with her, blah, blah, blah. If I wasn't being real, she wouldn't have opened up herself to a stranger. And I think he means emotionally there. The most important thing is actually being real and connect with another, and this is in all caps, human being. The more I unlearn, the more natural and enjoyable the conversation becomes. Cheers, Kristian. I think if you're watching this, rewind that, play it back a few times. The comment is available in if you go to one of my free videos, the free courses that I upload. It's called Approach Mastery in a Game 10-hour course. You can find the comment on that video. But I just think that this paragraph epitomizes exactly what I'm teaching on this channel. As you boys know by now, the mantra that I move with is freedom from bullshit. And certainly when I was learning all of this game stuff 4 years ago, it was the blind leading the blind. I didn't resonate with any of the teachings. It was all overly focused on technique and technicalities. Like, oh, you need to go over to a girl. You need to accuse her of being from a certain country. Then you need to vibe, stack, push, pull, neg. You need to emotionally spike so she thinks that you're cooler than you actually are. Then you need to act all alpha and detach when you go for the close and pretend that you actually got more options than you actually do, despite the fact you're going home and sleeping alone every night. That was the indoctrination. That was a dogma which was being fed into my mind when I was learning this. And I think this is where a lot of guys fall short. And it's not your fault. Like, if you've been following this outdated pickup dogma, and you might have got the wrong impression of what this actually is. Yeah, you might come across this stuff and think, oh, that's cold approach, that's pickup, that's sleazy. That's what I always used to think about this skill, because the people that I saw doing it were weird. They were sleazy. They were hiding behind a bouquet of falsity, a smokescreen of insecurity. because they were so terrified of presenting themselves as they are rather than as they feel as though they should be. And then you've got the other morons online who are telling you that you need to be a hypermasculine man who's making 10 figures and has got an 8-pack and living in 55 different countries with 89 different passports. So there's so much bad advice online from so many bad commentators who are trying to push a $997 course or try to funnel you into a $50 a month school community. And I think a lot of people are waking up to the bullshit. If you want to get a date from Call Approach this week, then all you need to do is be real with the women that you're speaking with. And it's not coming from a place of pessimism, like, oh, please help me, I'm a sniveling mess, I hate myself. It's coming from a place of power. It's coming from a place of realness, where it's like, you can go over to a woman and you can operate from this place of state transparency, where if you are nervous, if you're feeling a little bit apprehensive, if you've got a multitude of reasons in your mind as to why you shouldn't go over to her, if you're feeling very cognitive because you've had a long day in the office and the last thing you want to do is go over and talk to this girl because you're scared you're going to run out of things to say, if you're feeling hungover, if you're feeling antisocial because you've not spoken to anybody for the past 8.5 days, that is the conversation. Like, that is the conversation material. You don't need to learn lines or routines or 5 tricks to get any woman into bed. It's humanization through authenticity. That's how you start relationships, because what will happen if you begin that relationship by pretending to be something that you're not, positioning yourself as this stone cold James Bond type of guy, but under the surface you're actually a deeply insecure person, then eventually the mask is going to slip. Yeah, and this is why I say to people, you don't have dating problems. You have personal problems which manifest themselves into dating problems. So if you're grappling with a perceived lack of self-worth and you project failure into the future with every approach that you do, and you think that emotionally armoring yourself with lines and routines is going to solve your dating life, the scary thing is it actually might work. It might work in the short term, but it only works for acquisition. It doesn't work with retention. So there's a big difference between getting women and keeping women. There's a big difference between getting a woman attracted and making a woman aroused. And if you actually want to create those cosmic connections where women can't stop thinking about you, where you're separating yourself from pretty much every other guy on the planet, the thing that I say to you boys, it's not what you say, it's not how you say it, it's who you are when you say it. So if you can set the intention from this point onwards to start leading with emotional bravery and showing up as you are and amplifying the characteristics which are authentic to you, that's how you win the dating game, because now you're no longer trying to compete with other guys. Oh, this guy's got bigger arms than me. This guy's got a better lifestyle than me. This guy's making more money than me. You don't need to be better. You simply need to be different. That's how you win. And you be different by amplifying the qualities which are already authentic to you. If you want a complete roadmap for how to do this, download my free course. I'll link it in the comments once the live stream's finished. It's called my Most Fuckable Man course. It teaches you exactly how you can rewire your entire internal belief system, how you can violently differentiate yourself, and how you can become the most fuckable version of yourself externally, but more important, internally. And I'm so happy that this particular subscriber has taken the information from my videos and then transmuted it into implementation. So he's watched my content. He's like, oh, I really resonate when Kristian says, go over and speak your truth, follow your bliss, say what you feel rather than what you feel as though you ought to say. Then he actually went out into the field, he tested it, and he got himself a date. I think if you can form your relationships from the bedrock of authenticity, that's how the best relationships flourish, because most people fall in love with strangers. Most people fall in love not with the actual person, but the idea of a person. You imagine when you're on a date with somebody, imagine, you match with a girl on Bumble. Everyone's displaying their best pictures. Everyone's hiding behind the smoke screen, the airbrushed images, the filtered facades, even on the date. We're posturing in a certain way. We're sharing certain stories. Maybe we're wearing our best clothes and showing off our best features. I'm not saying that you should show up to dates being an absolute slob, but I want to give you more permission to be free, because when you actually understand, this is not about going out there and just chatting to a few girls, hoping you'll get a few phone numbers, trying to get lucky on Saturday night with Paula down the pub. Dude, this is your entire life. This is the way you show up in every interaction, in every endeavor. It's the way you show up everywhere. And this is why my clients don't describe me as a dating coach. They describe me as a freedom coach. I ain't a dating coach. A dating coach. I always find it funny when like, oh yeah, a dating coach. I ain't a dating coach, dude. I'm not a pickup artist. I'm not a day gamer. I'm a freedom from bullshit practitioner. And once you actually realize that when you're going out there and you're leading with authenticity, you're leading with emotional bravery, you're showing up as your most authentic self, rep by rep, this is compounding over time. It'll feel weird at first, and that's okay. Especially if you've been indoctrinated by all this nonsense dogma online, like, oh, red pill, black pill, fucking rainbow pill. You need to be high value. Oh no, you need to learn routines. Like, all of this garbage, it's programmed you to an extent. And that's why this particular subscriber mentioned, after coming across my content, he now sees the way. And the way is to unlearn. That's all it is. It's unlearning. It's stripping back all of the layers of social conditioning, all of the bullshit which has been programmed into you by society, the media, your friends. And then every time that you put yourself in those difficult situations and you forge a new identity through the fires of adversity, you begin to pick away at the conditioning. And that's why I always say to you, this goes way deeper than day game. Cold approach is the catalyst for the rest of your life. So if you can emphasize state transparency, and it does take practice, you will feel weird at first when you're going over to women and maybe you've run out of things to say and you're thinking, oh shit, should I just go for the number now because I'm scared of making this awkward? Nah, push yourself. Embrace the awkwardness, because that is the very essence of you that she's going to be attracted. It was Zan Perion, who I learned so much from. Zan Perion said, honesty is the greatest aphrodisiac. And dude, as soon as I heard that, I was about 18 years old when I first read The Alabaster Girl. I was just curious about the literature, because I studied English literature at university, and the language in that book is very poetic. But that line, honesty is the greatest aphrodisiac, that line will set you free if you actually understand what it's talking about. Because everywhere you look, and I've done it, we all do it, and I think if we're not mindful of it, we will continue to do it. Making ourselves look a certain way, framing ourselves in a certain way, just in the hope we can receive admiration from the masculine and love from the feminine. I do understand it, but this is when I was speaking in a previous live stream about becoming a 0% man, like becoming an anomaly, becoming a puzzle that people crave to solve. You should go back and watch that live stream, actually. It's from a couple of days ago. How to become 0%. That was a solid stream. But really what we're doing, all of these streams, all the content that I'm putting out there, I'm doing my best to get you to that point. It's almost like returning to source, returning to a point of origin. It might, like when we were children, yeah, and we just didn't care anymore. Yeah, tapping into that child within. I remember it was Freud who said, the adult is developed to protect the child. It doesn't mean your parents, it means you. So if you've experienced negative situations in your life where maybe you did try to quote unquote be yourself and you got shamed for it, maybe you told your friends that you wanted to start cold approaching and they gave you shit for it. Every time you try to speak your truth and you receive shame back, it puts more walls between you and that child inside. Yeah. So if you understand that we've all got that child inside of us that just wants to be loved, wants to be wanted, wants to feel worthy, then really the best way that I've found to navigate this world is by being a parent to myself. Yeah. Whenever I get anxious, whenever I feel those moments of depression, whenever I doubt myself, I'm speaking to the child, because that's what the child inside of me needs. It needs love. It needs reassurance. It needs to know that it's okay. So whenever you're going out there and you're cold approaching, or you're about to sign up to a Muay Thai gym, or you're about to do your first session at a hardcore powerlifting gym, remind yourself, talk to yourself, be your biggest cheerleader. It's okay. I've got us. But the only way through it is through it. Yeah? So when you are speaking with that girl, you run out of things to say, declare it. Because that's realness there. Because as this subscriber's realized, you don't know what's going on in the worlds of women. We just think that, oh, women have got it all worked out. They don't feel feelings. They just get to, they've got more options than they know what to do with. And it's like, yeah, but they're also human beings who've got hopes, dreams, fears, doubts. And we rarely take the time to actually consider this. We rarely take the time to think, oh, maybe she feels nervous. Maybe she doesn't know how to have a cold approach conversation right now. And maybe by me taking the lead and leading with authenticity, that's going to allow her to open up more. And then that relationship will flourish because now you give her permission to be human. I think that's the greatest gift. The gift to make other people feel seen, witnessed, and safe. The permission to feel human again. I think that is a truly honorable, incredible gift. And that supersedes all of this garbage nonsense that all these bozos are shouting about online, probably because they didn't receive the love they wanted as a child. Now it's throwing their toys out the pram, chasing shiny objects. Oh, look at me, I've got the Rolex. Look at me, I've got the Lamborghini. Look at me, I've got the penthouse. Please love me, please love me. And really all they want is to feel that affection. And I've spent time with a lot of these successful guys who many of you might look up to. And it's like, when you take a peek behind the curtain, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. So giving people permission to be human by leading with transparency, saying what you feel rather than what you ought to say. The quote from Picasso, it always rings true. It took me 4 years to paint like Raphael, a lifetime to paint like a child. So I want this live stream to inspire you to go out there, follow your truth, and I think ultimately prioritize humanization in your conversations. If you're running out of things to say, if you feel nervous, if you feel slightly hungover, just start declaring that shit, because then you can be more empty-headed. Then you can have more confidence. If you look at the etymology of that word confidence, it's confidence. It means with faith. With faith. I think a lot of you boys, you just don't trust yourself. And that's why you feel as though you lack the certainty. Because you don't trust yourself. You think that in those pivotal moments, you're going to say the wrong thing, or you're going to run out of something to say. Yeah, but what if you do? What if you do run out of something to say? What if you do say something that you interpret to be stupid? Can you live with that? Because you most likely can. So what's the stress? Yeah, she's just a girl. She's got her own insecurities. The worst she can say is, I've got a boyfriend. All right, that's okay. Just because you won't get some doesn't mean you won't get any. Not every girl's going to want to sleep with you. That's just being completely real with yourself and that child inside of you. Yeah? And when you do go in for your approaches and you do start being more real, celebrate that shit. Stack those wins. Be like, yes, Kristian. If that's not your name, then that will appear incongruent. But whatever your name is, say your name's, I don't know, Frank. Yes, Frank. Doing it, Frank. Yes. I was so transparent there. So yeah, what I would suggest that you boys do, download my free courses, go onto the homepage of my YouTube channel. I uploaded about 40 hours of content last week. So like loads of free courses on there. Everything that I've been doing over these past 4 years, I've condensed it into free courses. There's links below for more free courses. I don't have any courses to sell you. I don't have any school community to drop you into. I've just got a private community. It's called the Entourage. It's really expensive, but that's for guys who are really looking to connect with me, level up, and connect with other like-minded action takers as well. So I'm not taking on any more coaching clients until 2025 anyway. So yeah, links for everything are below. I hope that you found this live stream useful. If you enjoyed it, drop it a like, share it with your nana, and I will speak with you boys again tomorrow. All right, love yous. Bye.